Welcome, everyone, to the Crystal Starnes Show, airing on Just TV with your host, Crystal Starnes. Today, we have two wonderful guests that are coming on the show. But first, I want to say thank you for tuning in. I'm so happy you're here. And I hope you all had a great Valentine's Day this week. And I hope you spent time with your loved one. And I also want to mention Balance 7. Balance 7 is a nutritional product that gets you back to optimal health. And you can find Balance 7 at balance7.com. It's balance and the number 7.com. And if you want a discount, just type in Crystal 10 and make sure you let them know that you found out about the supplement on the Crystal Starnes Show. Well,
All
let's
right.
welcome Tim McGarry
Hey,
and
Crystal.
Robert. Hi, Tim, and Robert Paul Gay. How are
Hi,
you
Tim.
guys doing?
Hi, Crystal. How are you?
Good.
Good.
I'm so happy you're here. I'm excited to hear about your new album and everything that you're doing.
Oh yes,
Thank
we're
you.
uh,
Yeah,
we're excited. We're excited about this project. It's really good.
very.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've listened to some of the songs and they're amazing. I like the one about the praying. I love that song. I was
You got me
listening to
pray.
it a bunch last night.
Yeah. You got me praying now. Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's a kind of a reverse praying thing, Crystal. It's like I'm praying because you're driving me crazy.
Okay. I like the beat of it. I don't
Yeah.
like that. I don't like blasting. My kids
that's
are like, "What are you doing, Mom?"
it. Could be anything. Anybody can relate to you're driving me crazy, and of course, it makes you want to pray for deliverance sometimes.
Right. Well,
Right.
sometimes, but I actually, and for me, it's more like you get to that point one time in your life where just like everything sort of gets like you cut, you're sort of caught up from all the things you've done. You know what I mean? And now so I'm like now I'm accountable, and I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. Like sometimes it's like some I cross a lot of lines. Close to the edge is the way I drive, and sometimes those things work out, and sometimes they don't. So, you know, the thing is like
It's it's biographical. It's biographical.
biographical, and so yeah. So I guess the thing is like, and then sometimes you just got like, well, what's my option? I got one option. You know, you got me praying now. Because
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm in that place. So, but no,
Yeah.
it's a fun. I think it was really fun. We met Robbie and I from a mutual friend, Mike Kinnaman in Nashville, and Mike back in the day was their manager and tour manager with the Johnny Van Zant band for what 16 years. And
Yeah.
so that they're good friends. And Mike said, hey, listen, my friend Robbie, he told me about Robbie. He said, can you go write some songs with him? So we wrote a few songs before that, me and him, and they were decent, but they weren't like blowing our hair back, but they were like, but it's like the first ones you start with, you know what I mean? You start with the co-writing. And then he came down here to my studio, and we just had like the best time. It's just like it worked. It's like organic. We respected each other's talent. And the thing is, we had the same vision. Is let's make the best record we can. Let's make so like every guitar lead, every guitar lick, every drums, chorus, lyrics, stuff like that. They'd stick out. And I think we came from, and we were like, we're pretty happy with this album. You know what I mean? I think it's fun. It has a lot of different songs. It's like you have some that are like When Love Comes Around, and then you have stuff like She's Long Gone, which is like country with a rock chorus, and Life. And so I mean, and so we should, we made it like so, not every song was the same. I hate
Yes.
that. You go to an album, it's like, wow, that song sounds just like the first one, and that third song sounds just like the second and the fourth.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Well,
but the record companies used to make these artists do that.
oh yeah.
They tell them like, well, see, if they all sound the same, they'll always know it's you on the radio. Well,
Mm.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
how about maybe let's
boring.
boring, yeah. So we worked on getting some. And we actually had 8 songs, but we weren't the 8th one. We wasn't like we wasn't ready yet. You know what I mean?
We're
So we said,
superstitious. Don't lie.
yeah,
We're superstitious.
session. So we just said, how about lucky number 7? That's a spiritual
Yeah.
number. Yeah, let's do that. So we did it,
Right.
Yeah,
and
I like that title. I like it.
yeah,
Well, tell me a
Well,
little bit about you, Robert. I haven't, I'm just now meeting you. I met Tim before because we had a show before, but And I also want you to also talk too, Tim, but we'll start with Robert if that's okay. Like just give a little bit
No,
of
yeah, no, that's
background.
Oh, sure. Well, my history's I started young with Johnny Van Zant. I think you probably know Johnny sings for Skinner now. Um, the first band he had that had a record deal was called the Johnny Van Zant Band, and I was the main songwriter along with Johnny in that band. We made 7 records, and we toured everywhere, all over the world. Played with any band you can think of in the '80s and early '90s, and even late '70s. So some big shows and had a great time. But when Johnny went to sing for Skinner, I decided to kind of do things on my own, and took a long time to get it to a point where I could get myself to write with songwriters in Nashville. And I got that lucky break by knowing Mike Kinnaman, like Tim says. And if I hadn't have known Mike, believe me, I'd have never gotten the door. It's a tough place to write songs. You really have to know what you're doing. And I thought I was a good songwriter, obviously, but I was not. I was a terrible songwriter when it comes to the guys that you have to write with in that situation. Tim can tell you it's brutal.
yeah. Mm.
It's just brutal, and they will make fun of you if you don't have your chops, so to speak. And that's what I like about Tim. You know, he don't make fun of you too much. He has a he has a term called, well, that's unfortunate, which
Yeah.
means that you just played something that you might have thought it was good, but it was really unfortunate.
No, but the thing is, really, I mean, we had some like we know some lead guitar parts like that one song, that kicking down the road one, and and he was doing some leads, and I was just like, and I go, it's just not angry enough. I mean, we need like some, like man, So I go, you play slide, and he goes, well, I've been, sort of working with, it, but I don't really play slide. And I go, well, let's try it, and he killed it. He did great. It's like definitely what the song needed. So the thing is, we stretched ourselves a little bit. Um, you know, we really worked on, like, we do leads and stuff. And the thing is, after a while, like, he'd do a lead and he knew it was like I could do better. You know what I mean? I'd have to tell him, because like it was
That's right.
okay. I was close, but I was, but and so he would do it, and then he get like okay, and then when you get the one, it's like okay, that's it. You're not doing any more.
Right.
That's the one. You know. But he's a really great
Mhm.
guitar player, so it's really fun when you're playing with pros. You know what I mean? For them to come up with great licks and and smart leads and stuff. So that was so it was easy for me. And we had David Johnson on the bass guitar, who was a total pro. He played with the Neville brothers. Dal Nutt playing. He was the drummer. He's like a metronome. The guy's like he's just a total pro. And then my friend Ray Nesbitt, like after we had the thing all produced. See, a lot of times when you're in your own studio and you're producing it, what happens is I've listened to the song like 100 times, and you sort of miss stuff because you listen to it. So
Mhm.
what you do is you bring somebody else in, and my friend Ray Nesbitt and Ray Nesbitt Audio, he helped he did some more tweaking, saw some things that I was missing, you know what I mean, or things I can enhance and get better. And that's what you do, like, because it really comes down to is get all the pros, all the really good people, with their talents to put this record out and have it
Mhm.
sound the best it can be,
Mhm.
and
That's
I
right.
so the thing is like,
And beg them to work for half to what they normally charge.
no,
How do
they
you like when you do songwriting? I guess one of the questions I have, how do you put the music with the song? Like, do you come up with the tune first, or do you get the lyrics first, then you figure out music? How do you put that together, and how do you figure out like that's always been my question.
Well,
Like,
for
yeah.
me, it's I'm a music guy. I'm a guitar player, so it's mostly riffs. And I'll if I write a riff and I send it to Tim, he can tell you if it's good or bad pretty quick. Same for him. If he calls me and plays something over the phone, I mean, I know within at least 10, 15 seconds he's on to something or
Or he's
he's
not.
not. He's
Yeah.
mhm,
not.
I mean, for me, it's um, you can't actually say where it comes from, or like you have a process that's always the same. But I
mhm.
do like having music going because when I hear music, I it makes my lyrical part of my brain open up, to
Okay.
Right.
possibilities. But
Yeah.
sometimes, like like I mean, you get you hear something funny, like my friend when he got married, and his old grandma went to his new bride, and she's like, and this is like, now, darling, he goes, you want a long and happy marriage, and she's like, well, yes, ma'am, I do. Well, honey, I'm going to tell you the secret. And she's like, well, what is it? She goes, you got to be good to your man because you don't feed the dog at home. He'll be digging in the trash. I went, oh my God. Like 90 years old. I'm like, what? So of
90
course
years old.
I had to write that down, feed that dog, and I wrote it with this guy named Buddy Brock. So that's something you heard something. It's like
Right.
and you
Mhm.
bring it that and you bring it in. But most of the time
Post-it
for me,
notes.
post-it notes, yeah,
Post-it notes.
or like but the thing is, I can never turn it off. Like he'll tell you the same thing. I mean, if I get up at 3:30 in the morning and I got an idea in my head, there's no way I'm going back to sleep unless I put something on my phone or come to the studio, do something to record it or say something, and then I go back to sleep. Otherwise, I'll just be up till dawn, till
Hmm.
breakfast time. So,
Right.
and that's the beauty. There's a blessing and a curse to songwriting. Blessing is that you can write songs that communicate with people. Like you listen to our songs, you have fun, you like it, right? And that's great. The curse is I can never turn it off. So it's like once you go down that path, it's like it's like you took the blue pill or something.
Right.
You're in. And, and he's telling you too. When I went to Nashville, I thought I was a songwriter because I had
Mhm.
Yeah.
record deals. I had record
Yeah.
deals. Yeah, oh yeah, I wrote
I'm
songs.
big time. Yeah.
I had a couple solo records. Yeah, I thought and I was up there. I was totally schooled. Oh my god! And when I first met Mike Kinnaman, I went to his office and I called up. I was doing a festival up there, and I said, "Hey Mike, I'm in town. Can you come see me?" And I had sent him some songs already. He wasn't too impressed, so I go, "Okay." He goes, "Well, come on in. Let me talk. Let me see." So I sat down. He goes, "Get a guitar off the right of the room wall. You can play me one chorus of one song. One verse, one chorus of one song." So I played this song called "Hole in Me," and he really liked it. So I only played the whole song, and then that night he took me to this cool party where they had all these like heavy producers. Dobie Gray was there, we're singing with him background. It was so much fun. And then she goes, "Okay, Tim, play your song." I'm like, my wife's with me. She's like, "You're gonna play your song? These are like the cream of the crop of Nashville." And I go, "Yeah." I go, "Well, you get a shot." He said, "Just take it." So, but I was, it took me about 2 years going up there. Like I used to go up like because I was still working as a paramedic and a firefighter. So I had I could get 2 weeks off with the vacation and the way that works and swaps and stuff. I go there about 3 to 4 times a year for about 2 weeks at a time, sometimes two and a half, and I write about 20-25 songs. And it took me about 2 years to really get it. You know what I mean? Like, and these guys, and luckily I had some really good guys that were patient with me, so I wasn't like, um, and it was good. So and I learned a lot of stuff, and that's the kind of stuff, all that writing of like doing that for 11 years, you know what I mean? I'm
Mhm.
getting it. And then so when me and Robbie, got together and, with his talent, my talent, sort of put something together, it worked out really well. So yeah, um,
Right.
I'm really happy with this project.
Me too.
I think it's awesome what you're doing. And, how do you get together? I mean, do you live near each other or?
No.
No, a long way. He
Oh,
live
wow.
he lives in Naples, and I live in Northwest Florida, or as we call it, Lower Alabama.
No, right, Bama. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's in the, he's in the panhandle.
it's
Yeah, he's
pretty
about to go.
rural. Rural is the word they use out here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
rural.
But
So yeah,
I grew up here. I'm actually lived most of my life in Jacksonville,
Mhm.
uh, and but I grew up here in a small town, and so when I retired, I moved back home because it's
where it's
quiet,
at. Yeah.
Mhm.
quiet. But when I have songs, I just we do this the Zoom thing, or
Mm-hmm.
even sometimes just over the phone. Just I have this, or he has that, but.
Mm-hmm.
He's so prolific. He calls me a lot more than I call him.
Like, hey
Hey, but
Rob,
when
what
I
about this?
yeah, I'm like it's hey, I'm eating,
Yeah.
but I but I'm a good sounding board because I have heard great songs and I've heard bad songs, and I can really tell the difference at this age. So
Mm.
Mhm.
it helps a lot. It
Right.
helps a lot.
I mean, the thing is, like, and then there's no ego. I mean,
No.
that's the thing. I mean, the thing is, when you do co-writing, and this is anybody that co-writes, it's like the ego stays out the door, because really comes down to it. Like, what's the process? I mean, what's the unresult? And the thing is, that's why I bring all these like players in and other people in to help me with the project, because I want it to be the best it can be. I don't care if if I put a couple extra names on it. You know what I mean? If we need to, and you know what I mean. But I know that this, and I'm very excited about it because this is the first album project I've ever done. I've done lots of singles. Like we just have a girl, Leo Alonso. Her new single "Found" came out with a video yesterday. So I wrote that with her and tracked that here. And my friend Missy and Muscle Balsam and Leah Grays and Prentice and all these other ones. And I worked with some people like in the country of Georgia. So and doing singles, but I never did a whole album. And this is like it was sort of thought out, and we did these songs, and we came up to them, and and as we started writing them and stuff like that, this is a winner, this is a good idea, this is not a good idea, and so we picked the ones that we wanted to work on, and then we just put our heads to the grindstone, man, and just like put these things together. But at the same time, it was fun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, right? I mean, because it's my studio, so there's no
Right.
pressure. We're not paying like $100 an hour. It's just like if you take a break, take a break. Let's have some lunch. Whatever. But the thing is, when it came to work, it was working time. Like he'll tell you I'm sort of a workhorse. That's like
There's another word for that.
yeah,
You can use your own imagination, Crystal.
yeah. But I do I can never sit still. It's like it's like
No,
yeah.
I
I
am
mean
a musician that can go to sleep.
Hmm.
yes.
Well,
Hmm.
Me,
he's really passionate. I guess about it.
I am too. I'm
You are
passionate.
too, but you know how to turn it off.
I got to go to sleep.
Yeah. I know. Well, I mean, I'm doing. I'm just getting over COVID. So like,
Mhm. I'm
like
sorry.
no, it's okay. We're better now. It's just, I've had all my shots, so it doesn't last real long. But
It was great. He didn't call me for 2 days.
I know. It was like, yeah, it was weird because me and my wife, we're like, and he'll tell you, we're doers. We're just getting stuff done all the time.
Woo,
And it's like, and we had like 3 days of like, we did nothing but like
nothing.
lay in bed and watch like the Hobbit movies and stuff. Like, that was it. That's all we could do. I was just like, because yeah, it wasn't like, but just like no energy. I just,
Right.
and I'm like used to, I work, I work out at the gym every day, and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, and I'm like, I mean, I'd break breakfast and be exhausted. I'm like, what the heck? It's like, yeah, it was weird, So, but the thing is, you know, I always, because we're already writing songs for the next record.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We got a couple already. So, I have one called Tonight that's done. America, I think we're gonna do American Made. We're gonna do the song Pain. We're putting that into, redo that one because I want Robbie to be on that one and sort of redo that, make a little more rock out of it. So and then we have a few others that we're working on together. And so like so after this one goes, well, and what happens, like it's great that I have a guest room. So Robbie comes down, just stays here. I feed him. I make the best coffee in Florida. Yeah, always ground beef.
Guest room is more like a prison cell. Don't come out. Don't come out till I tell you to play.
Well, the thing is, yeah, I know it's down there. Well, the thing is, like when I'm doing stuff, you know what I mean? Like I'm in this like zone, you know what
Woo.
I mean? And I know, okay, so,
So,
so I got to put this in. I want to do this one. I want to do that, and then
yeah.
then I'll put some vocal parts on it. And then like Robbie comes in. Okay, let's. I need you to do some rhythm parts, with some crunch, does all that. And then okay, go away. Let me do some more stuff. And
Go
okay,
away.
no, no. Well, go out to the lanai, and then yeah,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I
So
and then
sometimes you open the door and all you hear is uh you're
yeah,
looking, oh boy, we're in
yeah,
trouble now.
yeah, and then
Do
he comes
you
in, he goes,
do you want to talk about any of the songs that's on the album, like that maybe has a meaning to it? Do you want to tell the audience about it?
Uh,
Maybe one of your best ones. I don't know. It's up to
well,
well,
you.
that's it's. Go ahead, Tim, if you want. But for me, there are a lot of furniture in the room songs that we're talking about. Some things has happened to me. Some of these things have happened to Tim. So
hmm. I mean, for me, I don't know. I love when love comes around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do too.
I
I do
think
too.
the thing is, I mean, I open. I mean, songs have different stuff. Like the love comes around is like one of those kind of songs to me. That's just like I have five sisters. Like well, I had my sister passed away, but and so and I have a lot of friends in their 40s and 50s. You know what I mean? They're just like I'm never gonna find somebody. I'm too old. You know, and that kind of stuff. And my sister just turned. I think she's 63, and she just found somebody, and it's like the guy's great. You know, he's a widower. You know what I mean? And they just it was just like they're just two peas in a pod. So the thing is, and I thought, love comes around, man. And it's that. So the whole thing is like, it always comes up easy when it's right from the start, and like a stray bullet that goes straight to your heart. You didn't see it coming, but you're ready for it now, because somehow, some way, love comes around. You know what
I
I
love
mean? And
that.
that yeah, right. And so like girls like, oh, I love that song.
I love that song.
So
That's
yeah,
right.
they
And
do.
I
I mean,
take
so,
credit for the whole song.
that's right. So
It's a good
Yes,
song.
it
yeah, I mean,
is. Good song.
it's a sweet
Good
song.
song.
It's like that. But then
Sweet.
like you have a fun song like "Kicking Down the Road," just like
Yep.
like the angry guy, or like "She's Long Gone." That's sort of fun. The song
Biographical for sure.
biographical. The life, the song "Life." It's like the chorus. It's like we're gonna live this life. Don't believe that lie. You're never good enough. You know what I mean? And I want people to know that
Yes,
because people always think, "Oh, I'm not good." You are good enough,
that's
and you're
right.
good at the place you are now. You are good enough, and stop saying you're not. I mean, it's a big lie. I mean, we are. What's who's the worst critic? Yourself. You know what I mean, right? Every little thing.
Right.
So, I mean, that whole song was just, and it's just about like, I'm riding blue skies. I mean, like, you can choose how you want to live. I'm really optimistic, you know what I mean, and very proactive, and my wife's like, she's a little bit more like, tentative. Like, well, 'cause like when we built our house, she didn't think we are going to get the mortgage. We're getting the mortgage. We are. We're gonna build a house. She didn't think it was going to happen because we went through I lost the business, which we did. So same thing. So with this record, the same thing. It's like we're gonna make a great record, and we just pushed ourselves to like our best selves. You know what I mean? I
Right.
mean, lyrically, sonically, all the guitar leads. I mean, I love his leads. I mean, he's basically a shredder. So like which he's really good at. But like I was saying, like easy on
Nobody
the
cares.
well, I just said no. You had a couple things to shred on a little bit,
Oh yeah.
but but mostly, like I said, like let's do like really good leads. You know what I mean? And that's what we'd work on, and he did, and he gets these things are like the kind of leads that you hear it and you remember it. You can
Mhm.
almost sing that guitar lead when you can do that. You know what I mean? That's the stuff that's like, oh, that's like really good. So
Oh,
yeah, so and he did great. So I mean,
but I'm like, what about the shredding? No.
yeah, shredding, yeah. There's
Yeah.
a cheese grater and some cheddar. So
Get you a. He's like, get your own YouTube channel for that. Don't
What
stay
kind
off
of
our.
advice? What
Huh?
kind of advice would you give other artists out there that's just starting out?
Go ahead, Robbie. You start first.
Well, I have a advice for kids that are starting out. You're going to get a lot of grief. You're going to get a lot of people tell you that unless you're like a prodigy at something, of course, which most of us aren't. You're
Hmm.
going to get your parents, your friends, especially if you get fanatical about it, like Tim and I are,
Hmm.
and I always have been since I was 8 years old. You can drive people crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, okay, I get it. You want to do that for a living, but pursuing it is tremendous work. And if you don't believe in yourself, you'll get knocked down and you'll give up. So I say, if you think you're good enough, go for it. Don't let anybody tell you you can't.
Right.
That's it.
I got a couple of things I tell like a lot of young performers. Number one, whatever, anytime that you go out and sing, it's 100%.
Yeah.
It's never anything but 100%. You don't go out there, you're on. When you're on, you're on. And I give you a bunch of examples, but that's one. The other thing is to don't worry about the fame. Worry about the music. If
Yes.
you're getting fame can go. I mean, I know guys that like I mean, the reason why I got into songwriting part, you know what I mean? Because I do love to perform. I really do. I love singing. I'm good. You know, I'm
Me
a good
too.
front man. I get the crowd going. I have lots, good stories, and I can bring them in. But the thing is, like a songwriter, think about it. Like today, when in today's um, uh, era of everyone's got a camera phone, that like if you scratch yourself in an inappropriate place and they got it on film, okay,
You
oh
did?
yeah, and then it's like, hey, why he's the butt scratching McGarry, and the whole world
Ah!
knows now. It's like it would sort of suck. But a songwriter, you get to hang with the artist, you write the song, and you make the money
That's
on the
funny.
publishing, but no one knows who you are. You know, so
Mhm.
that's another avenue too. But the thing is, you go for it 100%. The Dalai Lama always said, like, whatever you do 100%. If it works or it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. The thing is the benefit, what you learn. Some of our best lessons are the things that didn't work, things that we failed at. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And don't be afraid of failure, because that's a lie. People are like, oh, what happens? What happened? You're gonna go to prison? You're gonna go to hell? No, it's just you tried, and so you give it your all. And every time, and then just learn and be humble, like and go to people that are like professionals and watch what they do. Why how they crafted that song? How they craft that lyric? You know what I mean? Because like
That's yeah, big, big
a
thing.
lot of young songwriters, we have a thing called furniture in the room. There's a song I have, American Made, and I'll just do the because you'll get this. So what they want, you want to give pictures of stuff. So here's the lyric: the smoking pipes of a Harley and the rumble that they make. It's the laughter of a child, her first July parade. You got a baseball diamond on a hot summer night. You got a hot dog and an ice cold beer, and you're singing the national anthem, holding back a tear. Now you can see everything I just sang to you, right?
Mhm.
I
And that's
can.
and
You're making
Yeah,
me
I can
cry.
picture it.
so the thing is, and that's what I had to learn in
Yeah.
Nashville. When I wrote that song, I was like, oh, I'm getting it now. I got what you've been trying to stick, in this thick Irish skull, like, oh yeah. And and I always use that thing just to, as a point, because you can see all that stuff, and that was basically what they do a lot of times. So do that. A lot of young songwriters, and they have like hard rhymes, like I love you and you was a fool and like, okay, stop that. You know what I mean? And they always talk about emotions. Well, no one can see an emotion. I'm not saying
No.
that you can't put it in there somewhere, but you got to put some visual. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and the first line is always important. Like, and when
The
love comes,
first two lines are the critical part of a song.
and like, and when love comes around, your love is like a ghost that haunts you at night. You say like, what? What
You
did
could
he say?
stop right there.
Right there. I mean, like, wait a minute. Love is like a ghost that haunts you at night, and it's just like those things. Like it's like that thing you can't see, but and you just
Right.
can't. You're not coming around. So I mean, that was the kind of stuff that I've learned. So all those things combined, like in the years of writing songs, and I've probably written 1,000 songs. You know what I mean? I got 3 solo records, and I got like 700 songs that never made it. And people always go, "Oh, you got a really great songwriter." I go, "You haven't heard the other 900." So that didn't make it sound, I mean, like, Dolly Parton writes a song a day. She's been doing that every year for like 40 years. I
Wow.
mean, yeah, so I mean, she's thousands and thousands of songs, and a lot of them you never hear. But the
Mhm.
thing is, you keep on writing, and every once in a while, you get that one. It's like, oh, that one. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I think that's it. So just, give it your all. Give it a try. You know what I mean? It doesn't hurt. And you can always be a songwriter. Doesn't matter if you're 18, or you're 70. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Because the
Mhm.
It
thing
doesn't
is,
matter.
and actually when you're older, you got like a lot more experiences to pull from. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But
Right.
doesn't mean that you can't. And just go for it all the way. Because even if it doesn't happen, as you get older, go like, well, I really gave it my all, man. I had a great time doing it. I went to a lot of places. I played in front of a lot of people. I really, put myself out there. It didn't actually work maybe the way I wanted, but man, I had a great time. I learned so much about me, and
Mhm.
it's like that. And I think that's important.
Well, I think that's really great advice to the young people out there that they just need to keep trying and don't give up.
Don't
Like
give up.
that's, you know.
Yeah, with you.
Where can they find you? Like your songs? Do you have any tours coming up, or any events that you want to talk about?
Sure.
Robbie. Go ahead.
The website name is robertpaulband.com. Facebook is Robert Paul Band uh, /Facebook.com.
Right.
You can go to the band page, and there'll be links to all Spotify, Apple, iTunes,
SoundCloud,
uh,
everything. Yeah.
Amazon, SoundCloud, and you can click on those links, and you can buy it. You can download it. We're doing downloads right now, and mostly giving CDs to presenters like yourself. So
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's you know,
No.
without people like you, Crystal, we would be banging our heads against the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
I appreciate
Oh,
you know that, and I'm happy that you're on the show. I like both of you, so and
Oh,
I like
well,
helping you as well.
yeah.
thank
Well,
you
maybe
so much.
We'll come back after it does a thousand downloads, and we'll
Yeah. And then,
yeah,
yeah,
Okay.
and you know, and I really appreciate all you do, like this, because this is for independent
yes,
artists. You know, we try to get out
Mhm.
every way we can, and
Right.
we do have, you know, we've been lucky enough to have, you know, we were like in the top 10, top five down in a couple stations in Australia, here in Naples, and you know, a few other places. You know, Scotland, Ireland. My friend Sean Coyle, great, you know, plays our stuff all the time. So you know, we have we have like an international thing. People like sort of forget
Mhm.
there's a whole other world there, right? You know,
they
Right.
do,
so
they do.
and you know, and South America loves rock and roll. I mean, you know,
Oh boy,
you know, you see Brazil, you see like that, you know, Coldplay album. You know, it's like,
Skinner
uh,
can do 100,000 people in Buenos Aires.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Wow.
Skinner, yeah.
oh yeah,
So it's amazing. You know, my stuff, my last CD only sold in Europe. I sold very few in the United States
right,
because I only focused on that market. This time I'm trying to do both, but you got to start somewhere.
Right.
And Europe is so open to everything.
yeah. They
Hmm.
don't,
They like all kinds of music, and they like independent artists especially.
Hmm.
yeah.
They're not
I think,
stuck on Sirius Radio.
yeah, they're not, and I think they don't care how old you are. You know what I mean?
No, they don't.
I saw this band in Prague, and it was like that lead singer was
What is he, 80?
I don't know, man. But he was good. He was like, I know it was up there. You know what I mean? Gained a little weight. You know, sort of bald and stuff. You know, but I
Don't
gotta
think of
say,
the bad stuff. What did he have going on for him? He
he
could
could sing.
sing.
He could sing, boy. He could sing, and he got that crowd going crazy. You know what I mean? So, and that's the thing. And you know, so I mean, and then we're looking for. We have, yeah. Actually, there's a couple of band people guy. They're getting on the bandwagon here,
Yes.
and got a couple guys, bass player, another guitar player. This is from Robbie's friends, and my grandson, who turns 18 in a week, is a phenomenal drummer. I mean, he's like off the chain good, like really good. Right, Robbie?
Better than us.
that that
And
boy
he
can.
needs to join you.
Well,
That's
well,
right. See, it makes us look young. Makes us
yeah,
look young.
yeah. Just put the camera on the kid.
Yes. Put that camera right
Oh
on him. I love those guys. They're so
yeah,
young looking. Oh,
yeah. Especially that
yeah.
drummer. What's with the
That's that
drummer getting
drummer.
the whole all that
Oh, that stage time.
90% of the film? Yeah. So
Yeah.
no, I mean, and I'm not saying it because he's my grandson. I mean,
Mm.
Yeah,
anybody who's
you
watched.
are. Yeah, you are.
No, 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 no. Yeah, I'm just
No,
saying,
I
like,
think he's great too. So
I
that's
know when your friend saw him, your bass player friend, what'd he say?
uh uh well, I
Oh my,
can't really say what he said.
oh that's right, yeah, yeah,
Except the word, one word was amazing. So the other
yeah,
words were,
yeah.
you know,
It started with an F, and that's all we're gonna say.
and S and D
Yeah,
and
yeah,
holy crap and all that stuff. Yeah, he
yeah.
scares me for sure. But
He's well he's been playing since he's 3.5. I mean,
Wow.
you know, and I mean really, and he practices all the time, and he's really good. And it's so funny because he's so confident. He's just like, you know, oh yeah, let me go up, go, let's go,
That's
give me some.
good that he's confident. Because he'll
Well, you
probably
know,
spit
he's
it out.
he's gonna need it.
yeah. Well, and the thing is not like he's cocky. You know what I mean?
No, no,
He's
he's
just
just
confident
confident.
because
There's a
like
difference.
because he plays all the time, and he's like
Mhm.
practicing, and he does all these things to get better and better and better. His timing is great, you know. So, you know, if when we get things going to do some touring and stuff, you know, I said, well, you want to come on with us? Is out of high school, perfect. You know, come on, let's do some
Yeah,
tours.
it's got no life. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Somebody with no life. We want that guy.
Yeah, the
Oh.
kid, the kid. Bring on the kid. Yeah.
Uh,
So
uh,
we'll see.
no life and old guys. That's us.
Yeah, that's
We
it.
might change the name.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he might.
Right.
So,
Is there
but no.
anything else that you want to tell the audience out there?
Well, if you know we do have hard copies. If they want a CD, I know a lot. We don't buy a lot of CDs, but a
Yeah,
lot of
there's a
people.
link. There's a link on the website to buy directly from me, and it
Right.
sends an email to the band, and we'll
You
get it
send
to
it.
them.
I send it to
We'll
you,
send it.
and then if you
Yeah.
want a CD, and then if you want to download it, it's $9. It's not like a lot of money. You know what I mean? So you can help a band out.
No, it's $6.93.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh yeah,
Yeah, don't
I thought
overprice the stuff.
what
It's
I thought
six
it was.
ninety three, Crystal. Don't listen to
Okay,
him.
693.
Was that what it is?
Yeah,
You just
I
told.
bought it. I should know.
Well, I
That's a
okay.
fair price.
I'm mixed up.
It's
Okay,
very
okay.
fair. Very
It's
fair.
very
That's
fair, and everyone needs to get a copy.
Yes,
thank you,
get a
Crystal.
cut,
Thank you
and
You're
you
so
won't,
much.
welcome.
and you won't be disappointed. I promise.
You
It's a
won't be
really,
money
it,
I've
back
heard some of
guarantee.
the songs, and they're great.
All right,
yeah,
thank you.
They
it's
are.
fun. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
You're
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
welcome.
All right. Well,
Thank you for coming on, and thank you everyone out there for watching. And anyone that wants to come on the Crystal Starnes Show, just go to crystalstarneshow.com, and I will get back to you. I hope you all have a good evening. Take care, everyone.
all right. Bye, Crystal. Thank you so much for
Bye,
Bye.
having us.
Crystal.
All
Bye
right.
bye.